Hey folks, what's going on? Coach Gav here from Training for KIldare. So as you can hear, I am in the car at the moment, just parked up of course, on the way home. And as you can hear, Friday night radio is woefully bad. And I've thought for a long time that general radio is pretty woeful, and that radio in the evenings, especially Friday night, is brutal, just awfully bad. So usually I'm a podcast guy, or I'm an iTunes guy. I'm usually listening to my phone. I've got it connected to the car, just throw my headphones on and I listen to my type of music. And basically you always have the power to change the channel. You don't like what you're hearing, change the station. You pick up a book and you start reading it and you realize, not for me. Close the book, put it down, pick up a different book. You go to the cinema, watching a film, not really what you want to watch. Get up and leave. You are living a life that you don't like. Your life is unfolding in a manner you don't like. Stop and change the direction. It is never ever too late. And I hear it the whole time. Oh, but this. And as rude as it may be, when people use "oh but," I cut them off for their own sake, not because I'm an arsehole. That's an added bonus, but because the longer we go on believing the stories we tell ourselves, and stories being another word in most cases for lies, because sometimes even when we are in reality, our brain and our mind will perceive it in a different way, which will put a completely different spin on it, and then that spin or that reaction will then result in us saying or doing something in possibly the wrong context. And so, as I was saying there, if you don't like how things are going, stop and change it. It's never ever too late. I always remember back, my granddad was one of the first people to sign up for an IT course that went on up in Ballyfermot, up in the college many moons ago. And not only was he one of the first people to sign up for it, he was also, by a substantial margin, the eldest person on it. But he just to go and to keep learning. And he always said, you're always learning. Every day you're alive is a day to learn. And the day you think you can't learn something, it's, you've thrown in the towel. Let's call it as it is. So no matter if you've gone as far as 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 stone, upwards of that. No matter what, look, we all know sometimes you pick up injuries that are life lasting and life impacting. That just means you are playing with one set of cards and now you're playing with another, and you need to readjust in a very big way, and I understand that, and we can empathize with it. But at the end of the day, you have a deck of cards in front of you and you need to play what you've been dealt with. Sometimes you need to play them differently than you have been playing them, and that will get you a different result. So again, I just was driving home, radio was on, and every time it happens, every time I hear a crap radio, I just think, God, that's crap radio. And then the very next thought that comes along is, change the goddamn channel. Stop listening to it. Why are you going down a road you don't want to go down? And there's so many, I think people are going to start, excuse me, I think over 2016, 2017, and most likely into 2018, a lot of people are just going to start to see that there's so many layers to health and fitness. It's not as straightforward. No, let me rephrase that. It's not as easy as following the straightforward plan. We all know, work on your mobility, work on your strength, work on your conditioning work. If you're doing a sport, train for that specific sport. If you're just getting general healthy for life, get generally healthy for life. Food-wise, as much fresh, non-processed food as you can get that right first, and then worry about portions, and then that's perfectly fine for maybe 90% of the population out there. And then there's that other 10%, or maybe even less than 10%, the people who want to go to the extremes, the people who want to excel at bodybuilding, powerlifting, going on stage and doing the kind of the physique competitions and things like that. Yes, of course, those people will then need to go into a more strict plan. But for your average person that's out there, you don't need to do that. But what can happen is, because your plan isn't flashy or glamorous, you maybe don't respect it as much. You don't act on it. You just go, sure, that's grand. And it's all truth, guys. It's 10 years experience here. I know I'm only 29, but I've been training people a good while, and thankfully these are good and big, and this is good and fresh. So I hear everything and I remember everything that we went through, and all the different people we've trained and the different lessons we've learned and the things we constantly learn the whole time. I remember when I came out first as a trainer and that brown bread was the big thing. Whole meal, everything. And I banged that drum till I punched a damn hole in it. Whole meal, everything, guys. Switch up the white, get rid of white rice and white bread and white pasta and switch it to brown. It's so much more nutrients and fibre. It's so much better for you then as well. And then, of course, low fat was the thing. Now, I was never on the low fat. I will never, ever prescribe a low fat diet. But again, now that's changing as well. Everyone's like, full fat all day long, because everyone was wrong. And not that they're wrong, it's just they've done more research. And guess what? When you've more information, you can make a better decision. But now as time has gone on, I've gone on and studied more stuff. And now I equally recommend a whole meal stuff. So brown bread and white bread, I recommend it in equal amounts. Because guess what? It all depends on the picture. It all depends on the person in front of me in the moment. So something in this video will work for you. What it is, hell, I don't know. I don't, because I don't know who's watching it. I don't know your situation. You're more than welcome to let me know. But that's it. And so that's why the numbers are so low in Training for KIldare. Because of the approach we take with it, we keep the numbers low so we can work through pathways with people. And then when we get them to a certain point where they become reasonably self-sufficient, then we can bring in new people that we can coach, or when we have a second coach come on board, we can go about it different. So as much as I would love just to push it and to grow and to grow, and the benefits that come with it, I need to be realistic, because the system will only work to a certain extent. And that's where you need to come in too. So this is another lesson. The system you have, so the system is how you live your life. Until that changes, whatever your end product is, that's all you're going to get. So remember, you don't like what you're hearing, you don't like the station, you don't like the song, you don't like the book, you don't like the film, you don't like the TV show, get up and change it. But if you don't go and change it, do not, under any circumstances, go and bitch about it. Don't go looking for sympathy if you're not willing to go and make the change you can make. Because some people want to make changes to their life and they're not able to. So if you have the power to go and make a change and you can't, don't go and bitch about it. I don't vote, and I'm not overly worried about what the government do. If they enforce water charges, or if they enforce sugar tax, or whatever, they are going to do whatever they want. Yeah, but Gav, if everyone takes that mindset, that's what the problem is. That's fine. I'm really concerned about what I do every day, because that's what I can control and what I can impact. And if they go and they change the deck of cards I have to work with, I'll change my plan then. But I don't go and bitch about the government. I don't say they're this or they're that or whatever. Because I don't use my vote, I realise I give up the ability to have an opinion on it. And that's perfectly fine too. Talk to you later, folks. Have a good weekend. Bye.